Bam! Welcome to the show tonight. Pro Se Legal School. We provide the tools you need to take control. I want to start out with my ex's book here, Carrie Neighbors. I have to make sure that none of her friends think that there's a problem. None of my friends. She's my ex, but she's still my friend. My friend Carrie Neighbors. This is Shattered by Corruption. It's just a smidget bit about what we went through that put us where we are now, really. And how they say sometimes you have to learn stuff the hard way. But that's all right. That's all right. Our three superhero kids along the way helped make what we went through a lot easier because they had our back the whole way. And now this is what you do when you can't protect the people that you love. you turn into like, I don't know, a mini superhero. I'm a mini superhero because all of my kids are superheroes, okay? And they work in positions to get, shot at, and I don't like getting shot at. So I'm a mini superhero. Teaching people how to protect their interest and keep these people out of their face. And so in tonight's video, we're going to talk about some new stuff that we got going on, and we're going to give you guys an update. On what we're doing on Anthony's situation, and so if I forget to do that, you guys let me know. Now, I updated the property tax package and added a couple of new things in that package, and I'm gonna have my website lady uploaded tomorrow. So the property tax package has been updated, and it includes a couple of extra things that I put together for my foster kids' divorce case situation that we went through for a little over a year while I was playing with these fools, and they finally dismissed that. And now we're over in federal court, but they're playing around with me in federal court, and I'm not in the right state to just drive over there and see what the hell they're doing. But I'm gonna be going back for a couple of days pretty soon, and we're gonna figure out what the deal is over there. Now tonight we're going to be talking about the fake courts. Is the court fake? The shocking truth about administrative justice. Now, we already been talking about this or whatever, and it's the main thing of what we do, whatever. But we're gonna just, we got some new people. We got some people here that are just starting to catch on, and we have some people that communicate with me the same thing over and over, which means to me they haven't done a lot of homework on their own to keep up. Now, keep in mind, there's a conventional legal system, then there's the non-conventional legal system that we structured here from the real-time feedback from all the people that and people not in the group, people that invest in the program, and people that supported us that didn't invest in the program. And the non-conventional program is what we talk about here. Okay, not the conventional stuff. I have people communicate with me all the time, want to know if I'll make this form or make that form, and I tell them, look, you need to bring your stuff to what we're doing over here. You can't take my stuff over to what you're doing over there, because when you do it that way, you're turning my stuff into the conventional shit, and you're just going to get hosed. You're going to get hosed because you're relying on the process, You're going to file it, and you're going to go sit the hell down, and you're going to wait for the court to rule. Okay, what if I told you that the courtroom that you walked into was not a real court with judicial authority to make you do squat? And I cleaned that up on the end. Okay, sorry, I'm supposed to not laugh. Some people I had a couple of people complain that I laugh too much or whatever. You know what? But here's the thing, okay? When I'm not having fun doing this, I'm not going to be here. Okay, that's the reason why I've suffered for all these years eating peanut butter so I could get to jelly. Okay, so now I got honey to go with the peanut butter and the jelly. Okay, and no. So people gonna have to keep up. What if the judge had no real power, and the process you were being dragged through was part of a corporate machine designed to bypass your rights entirely? I'm gonna sip on my tea, let that sink in. You know, I have people that contact me, and because my stuff's unique, no. If it's a property issue, it started because they have your deed in their office, registered in their office. I don't care. Oh, I don't have a mortgage. I don't care. They're charging you property tax, or they're charging you a mortgage. Oh, okay. So the registration of your deed in the office, this is foreclosure offense 101. Okay? Foreclosure offense 101. The registration of your deed in their office is what allows them to put the first illegal lien on your property. This is what I tell attorneys when I used to be on Facebook, but I got tired of them interfering and causing me trouble. Okay, and so, and I tell people, okay, look, if you don't, let me put it to you this way. If there were several people who own property, all of those people would have to be present to sign the lien, right? So the fact that the alleged lenders accepted the signature from y'all happy asses on the lien proved that you own that shit already. You own already. And I smell shit. Stink. I smell stink. Okay, sorry, I'm laughing. Okay, so just think about it. And usually when I present it that way, because like I played football in college in 1881, I boxed. Those are two things that smart people do. So I had to keep this shit simple so I could keep up, because I'm not as smart as them. And neither are y'all asses, okay? Or you'd be on the other side. Okay, never mind. Okay, so the problem here, okay, is their process bypasses your rights entirely. And people don't even, statutes and codes are not valid laws. Foreclosure offense or 101, statutes and codes are not valid laws. They don't have the three elements that the Constitution and the federal law mandates, whatever. Enacting clause, titles, or body. I'll just skip to that so you guys won't have to hear me talking so much. Oh, sorry, that. They're not valid laws. So why y'all running around doing all this stuff, trying to whatever? They're not valid laws. And the fact that they're not is a violation of due process, because that shit ain't fair. That shit ain't fair if you don't know you think they're valid. Oh, let me tell you this. They're not valid. And they can't use them to answer to federal case law. Now think about it. You can file higher court case law in lower courts, but you can't respond to Supreme Court case law with state or federal. You can't. Little catch-22 there. You know what? Every day, people are losing their homes, their kids, their freedom, not because they broke the law, But because they stepped into the courtroom that was never constitutional to begin with, and most of them people never even knew it. Most of the people never even knew it. Most of the people that are locked up in our prisons today for drug charges that didn't injure somebody or damage their property, they don't know that Title 18 was never ratified. Title 18 was never ratified, and it don't matter if it was, okay? Because criminal statutes are the same as state statutes, but on the federal level, they're total BS. I know. Y'all think I know what I'm talking about. I'm hiding out, and I'm bringing this fire from the Situation Room tonight, in case there's a situation. Sorry, I'm supposed to not be laughing. Okay, I'm having fun, and anybody don't like it can go do something. Okay, so let me ask you something before you leave, though. You people who don't like it, I guess the rest of y'all can think about it in your head, because I ain't trying to like make y'all write it down or whatever. But the people who about ready to leave don't like it. Let me ask you something for your ass leave. Okay, how long did it take you to go through the process before you figured out that you have no chance to win in their conventional system? How long? If you're about to leave, you need to put that shit in. If you want to put it in, you can put it in. But I ain't trying to rub it out. How long did it take you to figure out? Okay, have you figured it out? Or do you still think that you need to call me and ask me, okay, let me hear what my situation? Okay, because it don't matter. If it's property, they're screwing you. If it's criminal, they're screwing you. Okay, you can't be the plaintiff in a criminal prosecution and send somebody's ass or people's asses to jail, and you're paying everybody that's doing this. I mean, I don't know. I just kind of keep it simple. Maybe I don't. I just don't. Okay, the prosecutor's getting paid by the state or the federal government. The state or the federal government is usually, even in a situation where somebody else is injured, they turn it into a corporation bullshit so they can make money off of it. So the state and the state and the federal government, how they gonna be injured party? Oh wait, there was no injured party because they're using fake ass statutes or criminal. Okay, sorry, I'm about to get worked up. I'm about to get worked up. How much money did you lose? How much have you spent on helping Amanda get her and Anthony's family get him out? And she said they spent over $50,000, and a year passed, and they would not allow her to file any documents in the court to help him. And they moved him all around. They gave him diesel therapy, which means they shipped him from different places and gave him mental evaluations or whatever. Yeah. And yeah, the legal team here at Pro Se Legal School is helping her. We talked, so I get to take the credit for this when we get him out and give myself a review. Maybe I'll take the deal. Okay, sorry. I don't know how to do that. That's the personality flaw with me. I don't know how to give up. I don't know how to give up. So there ain't no deal taken for me because I don't know how to give up. You can ask anybody in my family; they'll tell you. Okay, so if you ever been pulled into the foreclosure eviction, foreclosure situation, so foreclosure evictions, child support, credit card debt, traffic violation, no. We have lawsuit packages on our website that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen there for all of this. There was a chance that you were never actually in a real court. So if you're not in a real court, or you're not in a court that's going to respect you, or you have any rights in, how do you work that out? You stop the process. Okay, you stop the court process. That's what. No, keeping it simple. Stop the court process. And okay, so we're going to talk about how you do that, because I know y'all saying, "Come on now, you stop the court process." Now, one of the new ways that we're finding out how to do it, and I'm just going to show y'all asses, because you don't have to. Now I'm going to show. I always show you the front page, okay? And this, the fire is on the front page if you take your ass over there and do some research. Now, while you're doing your research, don't count on the shit that you see on the first 3 or 4 pages of the internet, okay? Or 5 pages, depending on how hot the shit is that you're looking up. I'm just telling you, okay? Because you're going to find them watered down bullshit that they want you to find. Now, I want to ask you something. For those of you who've been kicking these people's ass and been doing shit, have you ever heard of including a statement of constitutional emergency to force them assholes? Oh. To force them, to force them to and to move, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, we haven't done it yet. Anthony just got his writ of habeas corpus that we put together, and that's going to be on the website too at some point in time. He just got that last Friday, and I don't think he's got it filed in court. But we're going to go in with the writ of mandamus, because after all this work we've been doing for all this time, we're going to find out it's worthless. I mean, we've been stopping shit or whatever and touch and go and doing a whole bunch of work and doing all this stuff. Okay, and then you find out that the way to stop the court is to file a writ. Oh, yeah. An attorney's going to charge you another $3,000 to $7,000 to do that. And the downfall is they're not going to add. I'm pretty damn sure they ain't going to add the Constitution of. And if you add the statement of constitutional emergency, you also have to add. You have to add an affidavit of harm. Oh, affidavit of harm. Now that's pretty simple. Yeah, we included in the premium packages the affidavit of harm along with and we add the Constitution. We're adding. I haven't got all them all done yet. We've been learning. We're gonna get the young man out of jail, and to do that, it keeps going back to learn how to control the court, stop the court process, make them sit the hell down. Now, Coach M had filed her first. We put one together for the foreclosure, post-foreclosure eviction situation. And we're working to get her and Diana back in the house after the eviction process, foreclosure eviction. Y'all keep up with me. And she filed this, and she said they did not like it one bit. And then she let me know today that they moved her case over to the next higher court. And so I asked her if the next higher court was a judicial court, and then my next question was if that court if the judge in that court was going to provide her finding of facts and conclusions of law when she was done. And then she went back and done a little more homework and find out that no, that's not what. No, so I told her it was me. I would writ that shit back over to the other court and force them to dismiss it, because all they're doing is dragging it out dragging it out. There ain't no way in hell they got any arguments in this stuff. You kidding me right now? Y'all, they need to stop playing. So, people are finding out that you were in something far more dangerous than an administrative tribune pretending to be a judicial court, and they're using it to silence your rights and fast track your case out the back door. Fast track your ass over to the loss section. And administrative court, they don't have judicial authority. The judge doesn't have immunity. Oh yeah, people look it up and read it, but the first page of stuff they read is the shit that they put on there. So tonight we're going to be talking about some different things that we've been doing to get the shit shut down, and how to challenge the courtroom legally, forcefully, and without needing an attorney. And what I'm talking about ain't theory. And when we get to talking about it, then you can decide what you think. Okay, so the first thing they tell you is that you need to challenge jurisdiction and all this stuff, and challenge jurisdiction early. But the way most people are challenging jurisdiction, you're challenging the jurisdiction in an administrative court that made its own rules. You're challenging jurisdiction in an administrative court that made its own rules, and of course, not operating under the Constitution. And they're hiding the process from you. They're not telling you that it's administrative. Okay, so okay, so let me tell you this. If you sued them for administrative stuff in their administrative court, so you won't be able to get a judgment, a money order judgment. That has to go to a judicial court. Only one I know of is in New York or whatever, the International Court of Trades, the only national, okay. So if you sued them, so you're not in them, okay. So in their administrative court, they're not going to pay you money. They're going to tell you need to go to the judicial court. But in the other administrative court, in your other administrative court, okay, they're going to tell you a whole bunch of shit and try to take your stuff and people have been going into the trap worrying about using, okay, I tell people this. What you knew before you came, what you knew before you came to this program, it needs to be chunked out to the curb. And the fear needs to be chunked out to the curb. Because what you knew was what they indoctrinated you to believe your whole life. And none of that shit is true. Okay, so how do you stop? How do you stop? How do you stop? Okay. So first, I don't like doing the knockout, but I like to do just a couple of punches and then have them suffer and have to go give the hell up. But my shit has stuff that you can knock them out with if you learn to do your homework. Okay, so if they file a criminal case against me or any case, I'm just going to go with criminal because that's what most people are scared of. And I'm going to go with the federal government or some other government. I don't give a shit. They file a criminal case against me. Well, I think the first thing I'm going to do is put together a counterclaim. I'm going to put together a counterclaim, and I'm going to add their asses to the counterclaim as plaintiffs for $200 million, just like we did Anthony and any other agencies that I need to add to there to help them. And I'm going to file in their case. Now, before I do that, I like to go in and add their attorney's property or the judge's property, don't matter, Because none of their asses have immunity. They only have immunity for judicial functions, and they're not in a judicial. It's qualified immunity for judicial. Look that shit up. Okay, I'm gonna add somebody's property to my shit, so that I have to like serve that counterclaim. Now, when you file a counterclaim, you don't have to pay to file anything unless, well, in my opinion, well, you don't have to pay to file it, but you should pay to have it served, because it's the same as starting a lawsuit from your side over here in their little shit. So basically, you're adding their asses to their own shit by adding them as plaintiffs. Oh, they do it as defendants. They pay snitches and add defendants all the time. I wonder why attorney didn't tell you can add people as plaintiffs to their own stuff in the counterclaim. Oh, and then we have some punching documents in the premium. Well, actually, in all the package, but the premium package has more. We have punching documents in the premium package. In the prosecutor case, you got to demand to dismiss because the prosecutor is not registered as a foreign agent, and it's also violating the Tucker's Act of 1937, and the Tucker's Act mandate. It's a federal law, and so is the Foreign Agent Registration Act of 1946, of 1938, and the Administrative Procedures Act of 1946. All of these are federal laws that are being violated, but some of them are called acts, and we don't know what the hell an act is. Okay, but when you add them to their own shit, now, y'all help me with this. When you add the judge to the lawsuit that the judge is sitting up there to litigate, then the judge can't litigate it anymore. The bar members, they cannot litigate a case they're a party to. They can't represent themselves. They cannot represent others in the same corporation because their asses are considered a corporation. And that's the way it's been. Oh, wait. And there's more. How we stop their jurisdiction and crush their ass? We use federal case law and federal acts in everything we file in state court. Bam. It's a wrap. They can't respond to it because you cannot respond to federal case law with statutes and codes bullshit. It ain't gonna work. Some cases the people didn't understand, and the players were able to move it over to federal court. They moved it over to federal court, and the people that got moved over to federal court were like kind of halfway cool with it because their case got moved to federal court. No, that's not what happened. Okay, your case ain't until you pay the $400 over there to pay for filing that shit. Their stuff got moved over there, and I can guarantee you that don't reference the shit that you filed anywhere. Go check. And after they do that, they're still full of shit because they can't respond. They're the same attorneys run over the federal court. They send it over to the magistrate judge. The magistrate judge does not have jurisdiction to be involved in your shit without signed consent from all parties. So, bam, now you can sue the magistrate judge right there, but we do that down the road. Yeah. And the problem is, it's the same still attorneys from the state level. It's the same attorneys from the state level. Now they're over here in federal court trying to answer to federal case law and federal acts with statutes and codes. Bullshit. And if you don't say something, the judge is going to let them because they're all. I wonder what happened if you had the Bar Association. If you had the Federal Bar Association to your shit too, and then file it, then nobody from the feds would be able to. Nobody from the. Oh, we need to learn how to jumpstart your critical thinking process. And this statement of constitutionality, this statement of constitutional emergency is pretty. It's pretty badass. And so, what I'm finding out is that we just been playing around and playing around and playing around. Now we got a hit and miss or whatever, playing around. But the way to do it is to rip their ass. Uh-huh. Oh, to rip their ass. And so that's what we're about to do now. We about to go in for a writ of mandamus. And the writ of mandamus, you use to force the court to do something or to not do something. And then there's a couple of other uses for the writ of mandamus too. We're going to stay focused with these two right here. So we're going to go in and force them to rule on Anthony's $200 million counterclaim. You know, we're getting ready to file, the lawsuit in federal court where he's the actual plaintiff. But what's the hurt? We need to, and and some of the people saying, well, he said he's getting Anthony out, whatever, Well, we're gonna file a writ for habeas corpus too, because it's gonna be filed probably, it may be on the way there now because he's got to mail it in. We're gonna rip their ass for everything. Okay, sorry. I'm not supposed to laugh. But that's some funny shit. Because we're about to kick their ass and there ain't a damn thing they can do about it. There ain't shit they can do about it. If you watch the updated instruction videos and whatever, no, there ain't nothing they can do about it. I don't know. Yeah, we going in, we going in. Okay, and so this writ of mandamus challenging unlawful eviction, challenging jurisdiction, demanding injunction relief, and the enforced constitutional due process under federal law, along with the statement of constitutional emergency. Oh, it's hot. And then we go on with the grounds for bringing the fire to the table. Oh yeah, I'm having a little fun tonight. So you guys need to understand the way we do this is not answering their stuff and when we jam their ass up, add their asses to it. We force them to visualize their shared liability. So if you felt ignored, overruled, bulldozed over in court, oh, this is a stream they wish that you missed. Now, if you invest in a program and you don't understand how the best thing to do is to find the one playlist that we have set up, Stopping the Court Process. Stopping the Court Process kind of is a wide overview of what our strategy is here, but then you still need to watch the videos for the lawsuit package that you invested in, so that you guys understand the tools that we have. They're changing, and the real-time feedback that we get from all the people are helping us get this done. Helping us get it done. You don't need a lawyer, okay? You just need the truth. You just need the truth. The court has no power. They lied about the law. Don't go into court until you hear that, well, they ain't going to be fair. And a lot of people are going to court thinking it's going to be fair, and it's not. It's not fair. And that's why we have the program that we got going on here. Yeah, we help, how you say, even odds a little bit. Well, a lot, really, because they can't answer to the stuff that we're doing. So let's expose the truth and take back our rights. And this is the courtroom awakening that they never thought you were going to have. Thank you, Keith. Welcome to the show tonight, Frederick. And as you can see, we got some new stuff going on over here. Now, Frederick has been torching some stuff too. Let me put that a different way. Frederick has been knocking some people out. Down. He's been knocking them down, and he's getting ready to get his List Penance lien file. He got a certified copy of his. And actually, I was going to show it to the group, but I can never remember to download and have it where I need to be. And he got a certified copy of his lawsuit that he filed in state court, and so he's going to be having more fun. And that's my guarantee. People ask me, "Oh, what's the guarantee? How many wins? How many I do?" You're talking attorney shit right there. Okay. What kind of guarantees your attorney give you when you pay them all? All right. I ain't trying to rub it in. My guarantee is that your ass gonna have fun. Now, at some point along the way, if you do this right, you're gonna be having fun. And Frederick, that's his thumbs up because I already know he's I already know he's having fun. Indeed, it's going through. And hey, Kim, welcome to the show tonight. You've been here before. I recognize your smile. You're one of my Facebook pages too. Yeah, welcome all you new people. Okay, welcome new people. Got some people messaging me from my job. Welcome to the show, Key. Private? That's true, but that sounds like a conventional thing. So we got enough power on what we bring. We don't need the fiduciary duty. They don't really have a fiduciary duty. No offense, private, but they don't really have a fiduciary duty because they're in their administrative court. So the only duty that they have in administrative court is a duty to keep that bank account full so they all get paid, which means you have to keep taking your money. Oh, Coach M says it's definitely worth it. The respect she got from the Ritter, man, that is crazy. Yeah, but we about to get silly on their ass too with that writ. We about to get silly on their ass with that writ. So, that's how you gonna make the court. So instead of so when you do the writ, according to the conventional program, you get one document. The one document you filed to force them to rule or whatever on what you already got filed. Okay, just follow with me here. If that one document has defects in it, then you just paid your $3,000 to $7,000 and screwed. Okay, let's take another step. If that one document was structured by an attorney or somebody in the structured from the conventional, then you're screwed. So when I'm putting my stuff together, I studied all their stuff for a period of time. I don't want to say how long, for a period of time for this rich stuff before I started putting it together. And I'm like looking, okay, I already know where the pitfalls are. I just need to know how, And so that's the pitfall. You got one document. You get one document when you pay $3,000 to $7,000 to control the court. Okay, what if that writ had 8 documents in it that was made over here at Pro Se Legal School by the real-time feedback from all these people over here? Oh, what if you had the lawsuit in there from me that you can file as a lawsuit or a counterclaim, depending on, Oh, now you'll have something to make their ass rule on. You can go sit down and relax. What if there was a supplemental pleading in there that automatically added the Supreme Court and any other entity that you want, corporation that you wanted, to your stuff? And the reason we added Supreme Court is because the Supreme Court is the one that came out with the local rules that the court uses to violate, the administrative court uses to violate your due process. Everybody, the Supreme Court, all of them assholes got long robes. Oh, whoa, no. They're a corporation just like Walmart. And so it's the court that's dragging your ass into it. They're a corporation just like Walmart. And they ain't got no legal authority to do shit to you unless you're stealing their shit or attacking. Oh, wait. How could you steal their shit? Because all the property is ours already, and they're okay. Sorry, I'm laughing again. Let me stay focused. Yeah. Okay. So what if the writ that you had a document in to dismiss their shit? Okay, because they're not registered as foreign agents, and they violate some other federal laws. So you're just willing to dismiss their shit and drop that shit. Okay. So we went through that. You got a counterclaim where you're the defendant. Okay, what if the writ, had not only the counterclaim, but it also had the lawsuit where you're the actual plaintiff? Because I had to turn it into a counterclaim for anti-anomalies. Crap, that was a lot of work. So I saved them both, and here we are. What if you had a writ that had that, so you could file a counterclaim and just slap the ass all over the place? And then, I wouldn't be in a hurry to file the lawsuit because I'm still waiting for the ass to answer to that. Okay. All right, coach, you're talking crazy. Okay, so what if they answered? Are they going to provide a finding of facts and a conclusive law? No. I'm pretty sure they're not. Has anybody ever had a ruling from a stinking ass court? Sorry, I'm getting worked up. Where they provided a finding of facts and a conclusive law? No. Hell no. How could they? Because they dragged your ass in their statutory bullshit court in the first place. So how are they going to switch? Where are they going to switch over to the judicial part? And you start out as shit, you end as shit. That's the way it goes. Unless anybody proving me different, because I've been in the shit. That's how it goes. You start out as shit, you end as shit. So this writ shit in my head, because I have ADD, so it's just taking this to a whole new level. I'm going to file a writ to make the judge go sit the hell down. The hell with a recuse the judge shit. Because, yeah. And then you want to make sure you add your statement of constitutionality up in there. Hell, we might file a damn writ of mandamus to make the court shut the hell down for a week because they're pissing us off. Okay, sorry. Okay, so you know what? The people who want to roll with limitations, this ain't the place. Okay, this ain't the place to come up in here with limitations. And we don't have the limitations, except I'm hiding out in the situation room, and my only limitation is that I can't. It takes. There's a bunch of stairs going up to the top. And I asked him why they have all these stairs. Most places have a damn elevator. And he said, "Excuse me, Mr. Neighbors, there's no elevators in places like this." All right, young man. At ease. Okay, he looked at me stupid. Okay, sorry. I don't get along with the military people. I'm trying to work it out. Okay, so the writ. Okay, yeah. So we're putting together this writ that Coach M is using, and there's one. There's actually two other people, but I've only had contact with one of them. Is going to use to get back in her house post foreclosure eviction. Post foreclosure eviction. And that's what we're working on here. That's what this is about. Post foreclosure eviction. Now, I know some people said I'm crazy, whatever. They said that shit a long time ago when I said I was going to help people start to do this. And they said that shit when I told them I was going to help people, Yeah, and here we are, we're doing it. Post foreclosure eviction. Now, let me, I know. First thing, some of y'all asked the thing, "Oh, Coach, the statute of limitations." The hell with the damn statute of limitations. All right? Now, I'm going to tell you why. Okay, number one, that this their shit and they came up with this, so I ain't trying to listen to that. Okay, but I got some federal shit that crushes that. Oh, the fraudulent concealment doctrine. The fraudulent concealment doctrine is a federal, it's a federal it's a federal law. It tolls the statute of limitations. Excuse me. So if you can prove that the shit that you're facing was fraudulently concealed, then the statute of limitations is tolled. Stopped. Bam. That's like a knockout. I'm just saying. Or a serious knockdown when you can't get, what are they gonna do? You bring it back anytime. It's told. Oh, wait. What if you added the fraudulent concealment as a cause of action to the front of the shit? In front of the 42 USC and the Tuckers Act and the RICO. Now, I'm talking the premium package. This shit ain't in the other packages. And the RICO, fraudulent concealment add to the front as a cause of action. I bet the attorneys didn't tell you could do that. Oh, well, I'm telling you that you can. Because we are fraudulent concealment. So now this writ of mandamus for emergency situation dismissal of the unlawful eviction, it's going to include the same real estate deed fraud lawsuit that's in the premium package, in the premium foreclosure defense package. It's going to include all of the documents pretty much that was in that package. Well, half of them. You won't need some of the documents in that package because this one document forces their ass to rule on the stuff that's in it. Oh, yeah, I wish I would learn about this a while back. We just have that, But it don't matter because here's the thing. Not everybody can afford 3 to 7. Well, mine's not 7. Okay, and so we still have the documents over there from 5 to 1,500 that is getting the shit done for the people that don't have the money to have this much fun. You know what? And you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. And there's a couple of people in the program, okay, that was struggling, and they just went and got what they could work with, and I mean a couple, and they got upgraded. There's a couple. They're not going to say who they are because then I have to put them on the hit list and send them to Iran. Okay, so I mean, you never know. I'm just saying, you're better off getting it done than sitting around. Oh, Mr. Perk, we don't use that sorry word around here, man. So if you're gonna put that in, I'm not gonna post it out. We don't use it. Hey, we don't care. We know everybody have a life unless you just been goofing off. Okay, sorry. Yeah, we don't have no sorry here. Nobody gets apologize nothing here except me if I screw up. Yeah, the state of Constitution emergency affidavit of harm. Oh, yeah, you're gonna be freestyling the fire. Yeah, it is. But Coach M, you also you already been okay. You did everything except one thing along the way, if I remember correct, and that was there. You didn't realize that there's no way that they could even answer or move the state court case or any of that. And when we first started like that, we're learning as we go. So things come in and we make changes. And that's why she ended up in a situation. But you know what? Pro State Legal School got her back, and we get this shit done. And as turns out that I'm learning now how to do what we need to do to stop the foreclosure eviction process. Not only that, oh, this is so badass. Not only are we stopping the foreclosure eviction process, we've set up a program, and I'm just going to throw this shit on the table because this is how I roll. Without limitations, thank you. We set up a program. We set up a program here where anybody that got evicted, foreclosure eviction, lost their house to foreclosure, can get the writ package and jam their ass up. And Coach M, and since I'm helping her personally, I don't do this for everybody, so I'm going to start it out there. I'm doing this because I get to give myself a freaking review here. And she's like, I have to, so. And she knows it's a lot of work because we're working it out. She knows it's a lot of work. And, my reputation online. Okay. Wait a minute. My reputation already on the line when you invest in my shit and people don't do whatever. So, I don't feel that way with Coach M. So she oh, I'm thankful that she's allowing me the opportunity to give her a hard time and make her do a bunch of stuff. Because now we're putting together a program to not only block the eviction process, but allow the foreclosure evicted people to get back in their house at any damn time in their life. How's that? Oh, that's so powerful. I don't think most people understand how powerful that is, especially when most people facing foreclosure think that they don't have it. They're done. Most people facing foreclosure, and they go into their fear paralyzation, and and then procrastination, and then your shit get thrown out in the yard nation. Okay, that's not funny, but so I'm thankful. I'm thankful to have opportunity to put this writ of mandamus lawsuit package together, because that's what we got. Remember, we ain't going in with just one document, and there ain't no way that I'm going to charge even close to what an attorney charged and not make sure that you had the firepower to bust their ass. Excuse me, sorry. I get a little worked up. to make sure that you have the firepower to make their ass not want to show up to court. Okay. And when this kind of thing happens, then the judge will going to drag your ass. Well, I don't know what they're going to do with this because I ain't never found nothing this powerful right here. Thanks to my my non-bar attorney friends. I have several, and then I have another friend named Alicia that's been helping me. And I didn't even want to say what her position is because she asked me not to, but I can use her first name. And so I'm going to make sure that that's what I do because she's pretty badass. I know. All of these people are badass, and I sure appreciate. I appreciate the cares that they're providing for us to help all of you guys. You have no idea. There's a lot of people that are on the other side that ain't happy over there. But they got to take care of the family and do what they do. Okay, most of the time in this situation, these people have spent a ton of money, like to be a doctor, whatever, and then they're wrapped up, and you got to do what you got to do. But you know what? The real people figure out a way to make up for screwing people over and doing whatever. And so those are the people that are helping us learn what we need to do to make sure that we're having fun. Oh, sorry. To make sure that our asses are having fun. Now, we're going to go in and put together, I'm going to put together a writ for Anthony to force them to rule on his $200 million counterclaim that he has against them and against South Point Casino in Las Vegas for arresting his ass. They arrested him with facial recognition bullshit or whatever. And then when he gets his mandamus, writ of mandamus, or excuse me, writ of habeas corpus filed, then we're gonna have a writ of mandamus to make them rule on that because when they let him out, because they're gonna have to let his ass out sooner or later. Okay, when they let his ass out, somebody's gonna have to pay for bringing that shit to the table. Oh, the prosecutor, Miss Dietz. Yeah, I think I don't know her. Maybe they all might want to just go in together. Judge, the prosecutor, the attorney, all of them. They might want to just go in together and pitch in to pay this one. Okay, because it ain't gonna be on Anthony's skin, and I don't really care how long it takes. I told y'all ass at the top of the show. My main personality disorder is that I don't give up. I don't give up. I don't know how to just give up and quit. So that's my personality disorder. I don't know how to give up and quit. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to learn until until they throw dirt on my face. Or burn me. I don't know. One of the two. Yeah. Well, no, burn me. Well, no. I'll learn right before they. Okay, never mind. I'm getting creepy. But I think you get the picture. Hey, I ain't taking the deal. And I've been learning how to do this and putting this stuff together with the real-time feedback fund that I've learned from all of you guys. It's really made a huge difference. And so we're getting some things done. Well, I told a person one time that the people getting ass kicked aren't usually laughing. So yeah, You can hit us up in the coaching group. Or you can tell us right now. We're pretty much to the end, Mr. Perry. What happened to you, buddy? Force them to visualize their shared liability. Not responsibility, but it's kind of close. Liability is their pocketbook in my head. So force them to visualize their shared liability. Well, thank you. Wait, really? I've only gotten wise from getting punched in the face a lot and listening to listening to real-time feedback from everybody. Yeah, Saint Frog Dog. They like jurisdiction. They like everything. They're just operating off of the fear that they instilled in everybody. Oh, look at that. Audit them. Welcome from Chicago. So, Mr. Perfect, are you still here? You can tell us your story right now. We're done with the coaching. We're going to just spend the rest of this time getting to know people that are nice. Well, you're right. There's no statute of limitation on fraud. Okay, but I don't even. I'm gonna take my headset off. I don't even do the fraud thing because when you're going with fraud, you have to plead. Well, fraud is what they're doing. Okay, so if that's what they're doing, they're gonna make it complicated for you to kick their ass. Come on now. So when you plead fraud, then there's like 7 different things you got to connect to all of the parties and all this stuff, and it just gets convoluted. So I never, I don't need to. I got the fraudulent concealment, which tolls the statute of limitations, and I don't have to connect 7 different things to all the different people and then have them throw my shit out, because the fraudulent concealment is easy to prove because thank you, Andrea, because that's what they're doing. If it wasn't fraudulently concealed, you'd be saying, oh, hell no, I'm not signing that shit, I'm not doing that. No, that's not what we're doing. We're gonna do it this way. If it's a property situation, but if you tell them that you know that they're going to screw you over, then it's going to be they're going to say you're trying to get some free shit. Oh wait, yeah. Oh, that sounds just like the fraud shit, don't it? Uh-huh. They're trying to get some free. Somebody's trying to get some free shit, okay? And somebody's trying to make somebody pay for that free shit, okay? So y'all can figure out who is who when the statement comes in the mail. Okay, sorry. I think you figure it out before the statement gets there in the mail. Okay, sorry. I probably should let that one go because I'm about to get back. Welcome, Alvin. Welcome to the show, young man. You've been here before. I recognize the faces of the people who have been before because y'all asked in facial recognition, just like the dear Anthony. But I'm not arresting you. Okay, sorry. I got a little carried away on that one. Assignment of rescission. I didn't know. Huh. From the EO. I don't know what the OE was, but most of the time people think that this foreclosure shit is being done by the lender, the servicer, the whatever, and it's being done by the attorney. It's being done by the attorney that acquired this shit as third-party declaration. And I haven't figured out exactly how that part of it works. How it ends up, how your property deed ends up in, well, I know it ends up in the Register of Deeds Association. That's the corporation that ends up registered in, and then it gets put out all over the, and I think it's registered in land bank too. And these are the corporations that I'm telling people they need to be adding to the shit instead of trying to add 19 attorneys, okay, who don't have no damn money. You want to add the Register of Deeds Association, or in Anthony's case, we're going to add the Register of Deeds office and their assets, which is all the illegal registration that people's what they And then if they want to keep screwing around, because they're gonna do that, then we can foreclose on the Register of Deeds office and their assets. Yeah, no, there ain't no lender, Alvin. If you mention the lender in your shit, then they're going to assume that you believe their bullshit and they're going to ignore you. So I'm just saying. Now, there are times when I've advised people to add the lender if they're in a non-judicial situation, in the beginning of a non-judicial situation, where they're actually filing a lawsuit first in federal court and they're not facing an eviction process. That's why I keep saying, if you're facing an eviction process, you're about to push your ass off the cliff. You need to get the shit filed in federal court. You need to file in state court to stop the eviction process. You have to file in 2 places to stop the eviction process. You have to file in state court after you add the lower court players to it, and then you have to do that. But the federal court filing is what you use to control the shit. Okay? And people go file in eviction court, which is a fake ass court that and then they just move your ass up because they go file and wait because they didn't watch the instructional videos. They understand that you got to file here and you got to get your ass over there. And the state file, the filing that you do on the state court level is what jams up the eviction court players, because they don't want to tell you that the eviction court is a whole different court. And the eviction court, the municipal court, the justice court, whatever the hell that shit he has, is operating from the city ordinance. Look that shit up. Look it up. You can find the court clerk's manual, and all of that shit is in it. Municipal court and justice, the county, they're operating from the city ordinance. Now, what corporation can give itself judicial authority? That's some bullshit right there. Well, I don't really have time for your story, Alvin. What would be better if you heard what we're saying and get that shit taken care of? Because if you got the lender on there, then you got defect, and there's probably a couple more. But if you're using my stuff, our coaching is done right there. I need to make a little link with that at neighbors_coach over on Twitter. Now I post videos on Facebook and stuff all the time from Stripe, from Spike's video, but I don't spend any time on Facebook. Okay, the coaching is done over on Twitter, and that's where I spend the time, man. If you have questions, you can go over there, and there's a messaging section where you can talk to me in private, but I don't really need to hear your story. I just need to figure out, if you're using my stuff and they're still harassing you, then you need to figure out what step you missed, because something got missed, or you would be like dancing around. So, but you can hit me up on Twitter if you want to, man. I'm about to get out here. Thanks, guys, for the value of sharing your time. Gonna leave that on there. You need to go there if you have coaching questions. That's how we get that done. And yeah, emergency writ of mandamus to compel dismissal of the unlawful foreclosure eviction process. Yeah, we bring some serious fire to the table. And we're going to figure out how to turn one of these into every package that we have for the people that want to have the most amount of fun. Oh, okay. So they're still charging you? If they're still charging you, Alvin, then I think you see right there, if they stopped it, it's if using my stuff and they stopped it or whatever stuff, and they stopped it, it's because they couldn't prove that they made you a loan. And if they stopped it and you're still paying, then they're still pretty happy. And so that's the whole idea of what we're doing here is to get your deed out of their office. You need to get your deed out of their office. That's the bargain. And the 200 million or whatever, there ain't no money, there ain't no money. No, I don't know what you're saying no to, Alan, because I've talked about a whole bunch of stuff. So you have to say no, whatever you're saying no to. I don't know what you're saying no to. So are you still paying? And if you're not still paying, that's great. And but you need to get your deed out of their office. And you need to do that. I don't think you do. They gave you, well, no, I don't think anyone has the original promissory note. I'm just going to go there. I don't think you have the original promissory note because it was monetized and bundled up and sent off, and that's the process that they go through. And they can't come up with the original promissory note. They make copies of that shit. And they send that shit out to, and even the deed. When you leave the table, they sign pay to it all on a promissory note, and they process that shit to the Federal Reserve for electronic credits. There never was a loan. Now, Modern Money Mechanics, which is a publication put out by these dudes that know way more about the fracking banking system than I do, they said that these fools are paid 9 times the amount that went into a demand deposit account, and then they wrote a check for whatever the amount was for one time that and they actually going broke. I don't know how that could be, but I don't think that you have the original promissory note. And if you had the original promissory note, you'd have the original deed too, and then they wouldn't be able to charge you because that deed, being registered in the office, is what allows them to put the first illegal, put all the. Now, if the deed wasn't in the office, then they wouldn't be able to verify that you had a mortgage loan, because having that been control of your deed is what they use. And people don't realize that having their deed registered in the office, the government has liens against your property to pay. The state has liens against your property to pay the federal government off for loans and shit that they get from them, and your ass don't even know it. You don't even know it. So, you're demanding to have your freaking property, your deed removed from the office, all of your property information removed from their data banks, their computer processes, all of your information removed from the land bank, all of your information removed from, the Recorder of Deeds Association. You didn't count on the what? What's up, DC? Welcome to the show tonight, buddy. Well, okay, I mean, you can say that you do. I'm not going to argue with you. I know how the process works, and I've been doing this for a real long time. And I know that they can take that shit because I know how to do it too, and put it and put that signature on there. The federal prosecutors do it all day. They put the judge's signature on shit. Judge ain't even seen the damn thing. Mm-hmm. Well, you can't. The only way that you're going to be able, in my opinion, to be able to tell if the signature is the wet stamp is to see it when it's signed, because the technology that they have now can do all kind of shit. And I'm just saying, but I mean, it's good if you do. If you got it, why you paying and why you going through this shit? So that's going to be the other side of the coin, because you have all the documentation for your shit, for your property. You shouldn't have to be worrying about none of the stuff that they're doing, because they wouldn't have it. Yep. Well, they got more than that going on. The whole court system is monetized, and it's on the Brad and Dunn, whatever street, whatever shit. Yeah. Yeah, but we catching up. Oh, that's pretty cool. Mr. Perfect, send it over to me when you get it done. I got a playlist now for videos that people send in. It actually started out for police, whatever. But any videos that people send in, if you're taking video of them trying to get out of filing your stuff or whatever, yeah, let they have them, and we'll put them in that playlist so people say, and I'll feature them too. I'll feature them for 3 or 4 days. Now that's very true. You have to be able to do that. You have to do that to be able to park your fears at the curb, because the fear doesn't help you. It interferes with your ability to jumpstart your creative thinking. The fear interferes with your ability to jumpstart your creative thinking. And for some of you who have trouble with that, you know that I have a real hard time working with people that have fear and they're letting the fear run the show. I have a real hard time with that. And I'm probably not going to get much better at it because I don't want to. I don't want to. And, the way if you come here, you see, we got all these people doing this shit. Okay, that shit need to be chunked. If it's not going to help you, I mean, if it's not going to help you perform better and get shit done, then I don't know. It need to be chunked to the curb. And people get in my program, if you don't do the right shit, it pisses me off at punching people and at y'all asses for not taking the time to do what needed to be done. Everybody's different. You got to be willing to do whatever it takes without limitations. That's how we need to roll. And I had a while back, early in my journey here, I had a conversation with a young lady, and I told her that she needed to get her fear. She needs to chunk it at the curb or leave it home and she drive to court, because they can smell the fear a mile away. But I told her, for me, I always tell people, leave the fear at home or at least out in the car or whatever if you're going to court, because the last thing you want is for them to hear your niece knocking together under the table. And she said, "Are you making fun of me?" And I said, "No, I'm not making fun of you. I'm talking about my own knees. I'm 6'7", so my knees are almost to the top of the table." Well, there was a time when that was the situation. It was a long time ago. Come on now, your ass just keep up. Keep up. Oh yeah. So and when they see that, then they're just gonna slap your face all over the place because that's what they do. They trained your ass to be fearful of going in there. They trained you your whole life for that shit. You was TR. Huh. Yeah, I mean, you gotta. I don't. My brain's going all over the place here. So you gotta. When you leave a message, you gotta be because I don't really remember what we're talking about there. Well, thank you, buddy. Just call me a mini hero because I don't like getting shot at. Now, my kids, are superheroes, and so are all of the people that defend our rights or work with our kids. But I kind of stay out of the hero thing because those people end up pushing up daisies, so I'm kind of hiding out. Yeah, and that's true when you come in, and that's one of the reasons why I have a hard time. I don't care if you spend $5 in my program. I'm still going to expect your ass to step up to the plate and get this shit done and get and there's been a couple of people that I tried to be patient with that, but you know what? When it gets right down to it, the decision I have to make is: do I spend my time working with somebody that's already think they're missing the free throw shots, or do I spend my time working with someone that sees in their head all of them shots going in? Okay, all but one, and then they got the rebound. Stuffed it. Come on now, y'all keep up with me here. All right. So, where's my time best spent? And that's a sad thing, but that's the reality of my life. Okay. I have a line of people who gets to be, it ain't always first one in line. Because if the first one in line is telling me they're scared, I ain't putting their ass in. What coach gonna put somebody in that's telling you they're scared? Come on now. Yeah, you should be. And then you should step up and get it done, scared. If you can't get it under control, just do it scared. All you gotta do is just do what the hell we say. Just do it scared. That's simple. Or you can go home and throw your shit out in the yard and save them all that time. Okay, that's probably not very. I think it's kind of funny, but I have a jacked up sense of humor, and without that, we wouldn't be right here punching these people in the face. So, yeah, chapter 13 is no offense, Alvin, is usually denied when they. I said no offense, but I'm just gonna keep it real. When they know your ass run out of money. Okay. They do the chapter 13. They make people think you have a chance. And some people do. It drags out. And when they're done, you have a new payment that's higher in a lot of cases. And that payment is a contractual agreement, and it's agreed that if you default on this new shit, they can take your shit without going through the foreclosure process. But most people don't. And most people don't realize that, and no offense against you, Alvin, because people do this to give themselves more time. And a lot of times people do this, haven't found me or don't know other options or whatever. So you're doing just whatever the hell you can do. And that's what you got to do. Okay, but a lot of times, the chapter 13, you're accepted, and it's by the buddies of the same assholes that's doing the foreclosure, and they have all your banking information, all your assets, all your shit. They know everything that they ask you to tell them, all of that shit, and you just tell them everything, and then when they decide that you had no value to them anymore, they chunk your ass, and they still go after you for the foreclosure. So they just throw it out, and most people don't realize that if you're going to do that, then you would have to get, in my head, I would have to get a contract signed that they're going to do this shit or whatever. But I don't know what the chapter 13 stuff looks like, but I do know that it's just a way for it to get dragged out for these other people that work for the same corporation to keep taking your money. Now, like I said, son, you're still in your house, so you can't say anything's bad. Well, Steve, it's not farm credit. I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure it's not farm credit, because when you get to this part of it, it's not the lender. It's not anybody had anything to do with lending. It's not the servicer. All of those words are words that are put in the system in your head by these conventional fools, and it's them that's stealing your shit. The attorneys operating third-party debt collectors. And the sad thing is, okay, so their lender does a charge off. All corporate business do a charge off. They charge the shit off. They write out the taxes, claim it on on the insurance, write out the taxes, and they kept your money. So how many times did it get paid? And then they sold it again, and again, and again. Yeah, we about to stop that shit. Oh, thank you, Alvin. I know you do, man, because you're here and you're learning. So I'm just trying to keep it real with you, so what you got to do before they regroup. If that's the case, maybe they're done. Now, one of the things that people have to understand is that in this program, when you're going after their ass with non-conventional shit, you're forcing them to visualize the shared liability. They go sit the hell down. They're not going to have the judge say you win or you give you shit because the judge's ass right up here. Don't let somebody. They can't ruin a judge's ass right on there. And so we're learning as we go. So right now, if you force them to stand down, go sit there, park their ass, then you need to get back up in the ass and make them bring your deliver your deed. Because I tell you, I know whether you have the original one or not. I'm just going to go with the way everything is in my head from all of the stuff that I got from all of the people and I'm going to go out on a limb, and my coaching is going to be to get your deed out of their office, even if you think you have the original, whatever. Their ass got something, or they wouldn't be charging you, harassing you, or trying to take your shit. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Well, you can. Okay, there's no. Steve Martin, you can call the bank, calling names, whatever. the straw buyer, the bank bought it and flipped it. It ain't the bank. The bank don't have shit to do with it. They don't. They already wrote it off their taxes, claimed it on the insurance, wrote it off their taxes, and then they sold that shit to third-party debt collectors. And Steve, until you get that in your head, young man, and I'm going to assume you're younger than me. I'm 66. So until you get that in your head, you're going to be in the same place you're in there fighting these fools. Okay? It ain't when you go or even talk to them and you mention the bank or the lender, they think, or the straw buyer, they think they think that you believe the shit they want you to believe to be able to continue throwing your ass on their bus. That's in my opinion. And biscuit. I don't know what that means. TCD, we don't really go with their violation of their statutes and stuff. We like to stick with the federal laws. Oh, I see. Yes. Fear. Lucifer L. Express Trust. Yeah, I've heard about equity, but I haven't gotten into the equity law because I've been doing what we're doing here, and we maybe we'll get around to that. Equity wins all the time. I don't know about winning because I know equity has it has value, but the winning all the time, I don't know about that because I haven't seen a judge give anybody something, but I haven't been in equity court, so maybe we'll get around to that sometime. Right now, we learn how to cut to the chase and make their ass sit down with the writ of mandamus for whatever the hell we need to have man damned. Ow. Well, if we're talking foreclosure stuff, then I'm about to have this puppy posted on the thing, or you can actually go after them with the premium package as well, and get started right now. Because in the premium package, we address their fraudulent concealment situation and throw it right on the table. Okay, guys, thank you for the value you're sharing your time. I need to go and find me something to snack on. I'll see you guys in the next live stream.